Broadcasting from the Bet MGM studio, it's time for Inside the Jets. Presented by EY, building a better working world. Now, here's Bart Scott and Dan Grassa.
And welcome into another edition of Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world. Dan Grassa alongside former Jet linebacker Bart Scott. Bart, how's things? He's smiling. He's mugging for the camera right now.
I'm trying. Listen, we didn't expect to be here, but we're here, so we're going to deal with it. We're going to put our big boy pants on, and we're going to look for solutions.
You mean here doing the show, you and me, or just where the football team is right now?
Well, where the football team is. Yeah, where the football team
is.
The good news is that you think about Amazon and you say, hey, guess what? Coming to America 2 was bought, so that's going to come. That should put a smile on everybody's
What was that, 125 mil or something like that they got?
125 million. So
Woo!
I guess what? Things are getting better.
Eddie needs to write us a check, I think. Maybe sponsor this here bad boy.
Well, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have people come over my house, and I'm going to charge them regular AMC commission to come in, so that way I can get one price to watch the movie, but I can charge it 15 to 20 times. Like
the Bart Scott movie theater experience. You got everything going on. You got the reclining chairs. You got the you got all that stuff?
I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
I do.
You better give me my invitation. I'll be there. I know that. But yesterday.
Charge you double.
No, come on. I get the discount. I get the teammate discount here. 24-0 down in Miami. Things didn't go according to plan. And for all intents and purposes, let's be honest, you watched the game. 21-0 at the half. You kind of figured that it wasn't going to be the Jets' day here. And again, Joe Flacco making his second straight start, but it seemed like he was really under a lot of duress for much of that afternoon, was he not?
I mean, when you look at Joe, he really didn't have his feet on him. A lot of those throws he was throwing off the back foot, and I know he has tremendous arm strength, but you have to have your mechanics in place. He didn't trust the protection in front of him, a lot of interior pressure early, and an indication that it wasn't going to be our day. Perriman beats, the cornerback. He's 2 yards behind. Joe Flacco throws the ball. I think he puts it in the perfect position. Perriman turns around too early. He stops running. If not, that could potentially be a touchdown. Changes the momentum and the vibe and puts the pressure on the Dolphins to respond.
And what do you think that stems from, though? Because, I mean, if you think Joe Flacco was rehabbing a neck injury, right, all summer. So he didn't really get a lot of reps during training camp. He and Perriman, how much on-field work did they get? So do you think that was a case of just that rapport is not there between those two guys?
That's exactly the case. And Perriman, I don't know how much practice time he got last week. I know he was a full participant, but we don't know how many snaps he got and how many times did you really get the opportunity to run that play in practice. Every play that you run in the game, you don't run in practice. You may have done it in some of the situations, drills that you have, but it's a different thing when it's live. You have a body on you, you have people there, and then you saw Joe try to compensate because he plugged up the first time, so he underthrew it because he believed Perriman was going to be where he was the last time, but Perriman decided that, hey, I'm going to run it the way I should have ran it the first time,
right?
And then now you have to fight for the ball, come back. Those are two opportunities to be able to have explosive plays and maybe change the landscape and the narrative of the game as it was going early on. And really, to me, the biggest factor in this game was the fact that the field position, flipping the field. You look at Jeff Smith, trying to get the ball on the kickoff. What people don't realize what he was attempting.
Vincent Smith. Too many Smiths on the team.
Too many Smiths.
Right, yeah.
What he was attempting to do was to grab the ball and move back in the end zone so it could be a touchback. But it was too far out. Now he has to make a decision. Caught in between is never a great place, especially when you have people running down with a head start. And it was just the continuation of that. One of the places where a team can really improve immediately is usually in the special teams position. Now, it may take a couple of starters saying, you know what, I want to make a splash impact, because that most teams don't put starters on their special teams. So say, hey man, I want to make an impact. So if you're Crowder, do you say, hey man, I can help you a little bit? Because I'm sure early in his career he was a punt returner. Hey man, I want to try and help the offense by trying to flip the field and get good field position, because Berrios is stuck in between, right? You cannot be fair catching the ball inside the 10.
No.
You have to let that bounce and make them make a play. Like sometimes will they get down there and catch the ball? Yes, they will. But sometimes it's going to bounce in, and that's the difference of a net 15 to 20 yards, and it changes the way in which you can call the play. Those are the little things that you have to do, and that's the little things that the Jets aren't doing to try and change the momentum and change what's going on. And it starts with the little things. Sometimes we focus too much on the big.
All right, let's get more on Sunday's game with senior reporter Eric Allen and former Jet tight end Anthony Beck. Guys?
Thanks, fellas. Anthony, the Jets fall to 0-6 with a 24-0 shutout loss to the Miami Dolphins. What would you have told me if I had told you before this game the Jets were going to hold Miami to 302 yards, they'd total 2 interceptions and 6 tackles for loss and hold the Dolphins to 1 of 9 on third down?
I would have said that, that would have been probably a victory. The problem is a lot of that came later on in the game, in the second half. I think it comes down to moving the chains, Eric. You got to be able to convert on third down, third and short. Offensively, could never get off the ground, whether it was, some type of missed assignment, a dropped ball, pressure at Joe Flacco during this game. Again, the important downs when you have to make critical plays to get more plays and convert first downs were just not there. And, we talk about starting fast every week, Eric, and that was just a big problem today for the Jets.
Anthony, how demoralizing is it for this team? They are the only winless team in the National Football League at 0-6. And this 24-0 loss to the Dolphins in South Florida was the first shutout by Miami in the series going back to 1982.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's really disappointing. I mean, from a locker room standpoint, I'm almost positive every single player is going to be down and upset and disappointed. I mean, nobody comes in thinking on the road you travel versus basically a rival within the division and expects to play away. I didn't say anything from a lack of effort. That wasn't the case. It was just a lack of converting and a lack of executing. And that's been the problem throughout the season. And unfortunately for the Jets, it reared its ugly face again today.
You just mentioned that it was a lack of execution. And Adam Gase said, hey, mentally we were okay. We were just getting beat physically. Is that worse?
Well, that's a part of it. I mean, let's give credit to the Dolphins. Their defensive line outplayed the offensive line of the Jets quite a bit in key situations. Those are the things where, you're talking about execution. It really comes down to being out-schemed as well. I mean, Dolphins came into this thing defensively. We talked about their defensive line being very active. We talked about the mixed downs and blitzes that they run, and they were flying to the ball today. And unfortunately, when you're trying to get some conversions and you got Dolphins players in your face as quarterback, or they're breaking through the gaps and seams in the run game, they themselves had 7 tackles for a loss. So, talking about sacks and also giving up, behind the line of scrimmage plays on the runs, those aren't going to help you. So, unfortunately, it was from start to finish. It was probably one of the performances the Jets want to forget as far as, trying to get their first victory. Wasn't happening today.
And lastly, really quickly, the Jets were 2 of 17 on third down. You mentioned the struggles of Joe Flacco. It's not just him, and we know that. If you had to point to one of the most significant issues on that offensive side of the ball, what would it be?
I think the offense lacks explosion on other downs outside of third. First and second down, you saw they tried to go deep a couple times for Perryman early in the game, in particular the first series of the game back-to-back, and they weren't able to execute and complete. Execute is not just blocking it up, it's connecting on the pass, it's getting yourself open on the pass. You try to get those explosive plays over 20 yards in the passing game, 12 plus in the run game. None of that happened today. I mean, it just wasn't there for the Jets. And unfortunately, from start to finish, this was again, give credit to the Dolphins. They performed every quarter of this game, stopping the Jets at all angles.
Thanks, Anthony.
Coming up next, we'll be joined in our player segment by rookie safety Ashtyn Davis. Coming up next on Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world. And welcome back to Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world. Dan Grasso alongside Bart Scott. And it's time now for our player guest segment, which is presented by EY, building a better working world. And we're pleased to be joined by Jets safety, rookie out of Cal. He's Ashtyn Davis. He's nice enough to join us here on Inside the Jets. Ashtyn, Dan Grasso, Bart Scott, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm well. How are you guys?
Kuda Matata, man. Are you getting used to it? First of all, when you moved out here, did you even have a winter coat?
I got a couple winter coats. I visited Tahoe and things like that, but never lived in the snow, so I'll get used to it.
It's about to get real, man. Now you just left the fun and sun in Miami, but now things are about to be changing. Now tell me this, I don't want to really focus on the game so much right now, but I just want to focus on you as a player and the maturation of you as a player. Now you came in, you made a lot of plays in training camp, and you came out and you started to have a little soft tissue injuries and things of that sort. Do you attribute that potentially to the craziness of this offseason, not really being able to ramp up with OTAs, mini camps to be able to build that scar tissue up?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just kind of a weird incident, isolated incident, because I never really had a problem with soft tissue stuff before, and I wasn't feeling tight the day of or anything like that. So it was just kind of a freak accident, if you will, but nothing too serious.
Now, how's the life of a rookie going? Like it's you're starting to hit that midway point. You're going to have your first bye week for the first time. It's going to be a lot of firsts for you. And I always say that the rookie year is the hardest because it's the longest year you'll ever have in this league. Going straight from college, going to training for the combine and workouts and things of that sort, and then coming into training camp. How's the body feeling? How's everything going? How are you catching up with the speed of the game? And how has it been, this experience, coming to the league? Has it been all that you thought?
Yeah, it's pretty much what I expected. I'm trying not to look too far ahead and just kind of take it one day at a time. And it's been working well for me. I don't have a car out here. That's been my biggest challenge. So I bike to work every day.
Such a millennial.
And it's kind of, keeping me grounded. And yeah, it's pretty much exactly what I expected. And I'm just, trying to find a routine and figure out what works for me.
I talked to you at the beginning of the season, Ashtyn, and you said that you hadn't gotten a car yet then. So, 6 weeks later, whatnot, you're still in that boat. As Bart said, the weather's going to turn here a little bit. It's going to get real nasty with the winter. So best advice is probably get some wheels and make it a lot easier going back and forth in practice and everything.
Yeah, I got people that stay at the same spot that I do. So worst case scenario, I'll hitch a ride. But so far, the biking thing's been good for me to just kind of stay focused and stay humble.
Now that you got some game experience, though, underneath your belt, I mean, what has been the biggest eye-opener, if you will, for you? Now that you've taken that next step to the NFL and you're playing against the best competition in the world, for a guy who played in college football those years, now what has been the biggest adjustment that you see here for the first, month and a half of your NFL career?
Well, everyone's an all-star up here. Everyone's a professional, so it's the details make all the difference. And you see that going back and watching film, even if I'm not on the tape, it's the little things that, whoever executes the little things and the details properly is usually going to come out on top.
The good thing about the league is what happens is you play the same opponents, you play the opponents in your division, and also you play players that you get books on and things like that. Yesterday you guys played Miami. You're going to be playing them in the next couple of weeks. You played the Buffalo Bills. What type of data are you gathering and books and notes are you trying to keep on certain players and their tendencies?
Well, it's just like you said, you try to find tendencies, you try to figure out what their game plan is and what they like to do, whether that be a scheme specifically for you guys or something that they've been doing all year, and kind of find their identity and figure out then what specific players like to do, what their releases are like, what they like to do in press, what they like to do versus off, and just look at those little things and try to get a jump on and a feel for what they're trying to do offensively.
Three to the lone setback. Play action for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well protected. Unloads a deep ball down the left sideline. One-on-one. It is bobbled and might have been intercepted. Pinning it up against his back is Marcus May. That's an incredible interception by Marcus May.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world. Dan Grasso alongside Bart Scott. Time now to hear from Jets linebacker Terrell Basham, who spoke with team reporter Olivia Landis.
Team reporter Olivia Landis here with linebacker Terrell Basham. Terrell, another loss for the Jets, 0-6 currently on the season. At this point, how does the team mentally move forward to find that first win?
We just got to stick together and block out the noise. After 0-6 start to a season, there's going to be a whole lot of noise from the media and outside people wanting to make their opinion on this team and the things that we're capable of and the things that we're doing. But we have a lot of good things that we're going to build off of from this game, and move forward, correct the mistakes, and try to figure out how to make the necessary plays in order for us to win that first game.
You talked about blocking out the noise and all of the things on the outside. What are some of the steps that you guys take as a team to do just that? Block out all the outside noise and focus on what's in front of you.
Just meeting with each other, recognizing the bad, building off of the good, and going from there. Not hearing anything that anyone else has to say, but evaluating ourselves and truly getting better from that.
As a unit defensively, you guys got the pass rush game going today. You yourself had 1 sack, 2 sacks total in today's game. How do you build off performances like that?
We were able to put some pressure on them today, which is really good. It's tough. I mean, you in one aspect you can feel like you're doing good, and in the other aspect, you could be lacking in some things. But I mean, we just got to come out and play. We have yet to play a complementary game in all phases, as far as offense, defense, and special teams. Once we come out and play a complementary football, we'll get the results that we need.
Defensively, though, Terrell, what are some of the positive things that you guys have done through these first 6 games that you think there's something there that you can build off of?
One thing for sure, we don't stop. We continue to play. Some of our best plays been in the second half, and the third and fourth quarters of some of these games that we've been losing. Some of the best play, some of the most plays that we make could be in the second half. We're building off of the turnovers and the amount of pressure we're able to put on quarterbacks, the amount of guys we're able to get around the ball. It's a lot of good things that we're doing on defense that we have to build off of, that we can't let go, and we just got to correct the little mistakes, because it's just little mistakes holding us back.
Terrell, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Help MetLife celebrate the incredible workforce of the tri-state area. Submit your idea for a 2-story high mural being installed at MetLife Stadium. Go to nyjets.com/MetLife to submit your designs today.
Coming up, we'll hear more from Jet safety Ashtyn Davis. That's next on Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world. And welcome back to Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world. Dan Grasso alongside Jet linebacker Bart Scott, and we're joined by Jets rookie safety Ashtyn Davis. Now, after the game yesterday, Ashtyn, we found out that Steve McClendon was traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and being the longest tenured Jet, I know that he was a very valuable influence in that locker room. How well did you get to know him, and how much do you think that his presence is going to be missed amongst you guys in that locker room?
I mean, I only had one off season here, and it was kind of an unconventional one, but you definitely felt his presence, and he was a great leader, and someone that taught me a lot as far as how to be professional. And yeah, his presence was felt in the locker room for sure.
Playing in a complex system like Greg Williams is in, understanding that maybe one of the byproducts of not being able to have a lot of time with the OTAs, the rookie camps, and training camp, a traditional one, maybe got lost in translation was the communication. How difficult is it to communicate in such a short season and kind of understand the nuances of the defense and being able to utilize all the tools in the tool belt, knowing that, you may, not have worked with a player before, or being able to have that nonverbal communication. How important is that, especially on the back end?
I think it's important, and it's something that we missed out on, but in the grand scheme of things, everyone's missed out on that. So I don't think we can ride on that as an excuse. It's just, we got to get some things cleaned up, and just try to get better every week.
You being a safety, how much have you tried to learn from guys like Marcus May, Bradley McDougald, guys who have been in the league now for several years? You being a rookie, what kind of things are you trying to absorb off of them? Are you kind of just attacking this as almost like trying to be a sponge?
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly how I describe it. Just trying to soak up as much as I can. And again, going back to the details, trying to implement as many of those details when I get out on the field as I can, and make sure I'm ready to go whenever my number is called.
Do you think that the experience of being a rookie, playing your first year here in the NFL, has it slowed down a little bit for you? Because I'm sure that at the beginning it's all the whirlwind. You want to play your best. You want to make a good impression on your teammates and your coaches and really make an impact. And so things are probably happening at like a frenetic pace. But has the game and everything around you kind of slowed down here as we've gotten into October?
Yeah, as I, get more defensive reps and get comfortable back there, things definitely are slowing down. I think it's more so about the nerves for me. It's the same game I've been playing, and I'm starting to realize that and starting to get comfortable back there.
I know that you're a workaholic. You want to obviously, make your impact here as a rookie in the NFL and get your kind of, your career headed on the right foot. But what do you do away from the field? When you're back at your place, do you have any downtime? What do you like to do for fun away from football?
I'm usually either taking care of my body, or if it's, watching film. On my off days, I'll play a little video games. But other than that, I'm pretty locked in. Like I said, I don't even have a car, so I'm focused on here and taking care of my body first.
Do you watch a lot of other football when you guys are off? I mean, like other games, and it seems like now because of the schedule being so weird, there's a game, it seems like every single night. Do you watch a lot of the other teams around the league when you're not playing?
Yeah, definitely. Tonight, Kansas City and Buffalo, those are two teams we're playing in the next couple of weeks. So definitely going to be tuning into that and trying to pick up whatever I can.
How about the rest of the rookie class? It's kind of been a mixed bag so far for you guys. It seems like each and every one of you has dealt with an injury at some time or another. Some guys are still on the shelf. But have you bonded together in any way, all of you first-year players?
Yeah, definitely stuck together, and we have these rookie success programs, and yeah, I've definitely bonded with those guys. I'm definitely say I'm close with them.
Well, Ashtyn, thanks for a couple of minutes. We really appreciate you joining us here on Inside the Jets, and continued success the rest of the season. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's all the time we have for this week. For Bart Scott, I'm Dan Grassa. Thanks for joining us on Inside the Jets, presented by EY, building a better working world.